I don't know how I really missed this the other day, but apparently there was a, what does the ATF like to call it? A trigger that's also a gun. Okay, I know this is confusing, but stick with me here. A trigger that's also a gun that is also a machine gun that can fire rounds rapidly without having a magazine to insert into it, as well as not having a barrel or all the other components. Just the trigger. The trigger is it's a machine gun. And what these triggers are called are forced reset triggers. And they became pretty popular because obviously who doesn't want to be able to shoot faster than they already can? And secondly, they became popular just so the ATF knows, because our Second Amendment does not have any lines where it says, well, the ATF can just make stuff up and we'll all be fine with it and it'll be a fun time. And yeah, I mean, the ATF can pretty much do whatever they want. Shouldn't it be the opposite, just so we're clear? Shouldn't it be the civilians can do whatever they want and the ATF should have boundaries as far as what they can do and what they can't do? I mean, I'm a fan of getting rid of the ATF and just putting armed guards everywhere. Not law enforcement. They don't answer to the government. They answer to the civilians or whoever owns the place they're guarding. Okay, the government isn't going for that? Okay, no problem. Just hang out with Israel and Ukraine some more.
I'm a retired deputy sheriff, served in law enforcement for 24 years, and was contacted by the ATF saying that they had evidence that I had purchased an FRT trigger.
If there's one thing that us in the Second Amendment community understand, it's that we cannot rely on our government for protection. Not with your life, not with your money either. Throughout our life, the dominance of the US dollar was unquestioned, but that may be changing. Banks are failing left and right, and the government is discussing taking total control of your money with this new digital dollar. Don't let your life savings become a casualty of falling corporations or currency war. Now is the time to call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They'll show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your wealth with physical gold and silver. They have the finest products, amazing customer service, and an amazing buyback commitment. American Hartford Gold also has a 5-star rating from thousands of reviews. So when you call, tell them that I sent you, and they'll give you up to $5,000 worth of free silver on your first order. So call them now. Click the link in the description or call 844-940-0662 or text HEAVY to 65532. But why don't we just break this call down today, because, you know, I kind of feel bad for this guy. He's an older gentleman. He's super nice on the phone, even though he shouldn't be. And why don't we just take a listen here?
I'm calling about some forced reset triggers you purchased a while back. Do you remember that?
I don't have anything really to say about any of that.
Well, I mean, do you remember purchasing the triggers?
I don't have anything to say anything about any triggers.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm calling is we have been tasked with trying to retrieve some of these triggers that were purchased.
So obviously you notice the tactics right away of this ATF agent. It's not you're in trouble. It's not FRT triggers are illegal. It's, hey, do you remember purchasing these triggers a while back?
It looks like, I'm trying to find a date, back in 2022, you purchased one of these forced reset triggers. And unfortunately, since then, they have been deemed machine guns. So you can't lawfully possess them. So all we're trying to do is track them down, let you know that you can't have them, and take them if you have it in your possession. But you can't have it. Unfortunately, it is illegal. So I just need to know, whether you do or don't still have those triggers.
I'm honestly a little upset that this guy didn't ask this, but obviously when you're on the phone in the real situation, your mind goes, to wherever it's going to go. But I would have asked, where did you get this information from? What is your proof that I bought these triggers you were talking about? Right? Because I personally would want to know whoever sold me out. The ATF can't just access anyone's records from their sales on their store. They would have to get a warrant and essentially subpoena the information, unless they're doing it illegally, and we're not going to put that pass the ATF. But I want to know who told you? How do you know that I bought these triggers? But of course, their tactic is they just want you to say, yes, I did buy those triggers. And yeah, because then they have proof that you bought them, and then they can do whatever they want.
Wasn't there an injunction passed Saturday out of the Fifth Circuit in Texas? There was an injunction imposed on basically ATF for forced reset triggers.
As it stands right now, I got told from my big people, this is a machine gun, it's unlawful, I have to come get it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's an injunction against that right now.
Yeah, so, like I said, it might change in the future, but as it stands right now, just trying to figure out what to do about the trigger.
Well, my understanding is there's an injunction covering all NAGR members. Are you aware of that?
All I know is I was told from powers that be that are bigger than me, this came out saying that you have one and it's illegal to have, and we need to take it in our possession.
But it is a good point that there was an injunction passed. I don't really follow that stuff, and the reason being is the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment. And let me give you an example. All of these rulings with the ATF, especially the newer ones where they're getting into like banning plastic and Velcro or a certain trigger or a certain something that they pull out of their ass. If you have no knowledge of it, a court is going to have a very hard time convicting you. It is not the civilian's responsibility to be like, okay, let me go on the ATF website today and see, oh no, they banned this, okay, throw it in the trash. It's not the civilian's responsibility. We have our Constitution, and if something that you're doing is constitutional, and you have no knowledge of any of this crap, you're not breaking the law. It really is as simple as that, and any fair judge would see that. But apparently they passed an injunction about this, saying that if you're covered under a certain group, then you can keep them. And of course, the ATF has no knowledge of this. They're just tasked with getting rid of these triggers. You don't want to address the crime on the street? This is more important.
I'm not trying to be difficult. So, what are you telling me? You're not going to turn it over, or you don't have it?
I don't have it.
This has to be resolved one way or another. Either we take the trigger if you have it, and it's no big deal, or we come out and you sign an affidavit saying that you no longer have it.
Okay. Here's an idea. Maybe you can fuck off. Was that too mean? All right, let me correct that. Maybe you can fuck off. We're just trying to figure out what to do with the trigger because they're just so dangerous. I have a question. How do you know he still has it, right? Like, you're not doing a background check to get one of these. So how do you know he didn't trash it? How do you know he didn't like it? How do you know maybe his buddy had a shitty trigger in his gun and he gave it to him? How do you know? You don't know. This is just a wild goose chase. Oh, but the ATF, they need you to sign something. Okay, you got your paper here? Mickey Mouse. And here comes the ATF's big stick, or what they think is a big stick. That's just what all of their wives probably tell them. But ultimately, it's really not a big stick, because people filming their interactions with you, it's leveled the playing field. Before, I can't imagine how these would have gone. I can't imagine the amount of harassment and law breaking and oath breaking that the ATF did before they started to be filmed.
So I guess we'll just come out to your house and see you in person and get you to sign an affidavit if you're saying you don't have the trigger.
Well, I'd hate for you to waste a trip out.
Yeah, well, I don't have a choice. Are you going to be home tomorrow? We can come out tomorrow and just get this settled so you don't ever have to hear from me ever again.
Well,
You're working?
I am.
Okay. Is there a time we can meet you? I can work around your schedule.
No, that just save yourself a trip, I guess.
But of course they say, well, okay, we'll just come to your house. Come on out. You know how big a trigger is? It's about that big. Good luck finding it. I took the boat out last weekend and I don't know what happened. I let my girlfriend drive and we flipped it, and I don't know. But what were you looking for? I could try to help you find it. This is a dumb errand. A dumb errand. Like, what do you think people who own these are doing? Do you think they have like a note on their front door? Hey guys, I am a owner of an FRT trigger and it's stored on my kitchen counter, just in case I want to put it in a gun and then take it out and then, you know, do whatever I have to do with it. I want to applaud this guy for not giving this person any information. It is not as easy as this guy performed in this conversation. But I have a few questions just for the ATF and whoever else wants gun control. Have one of these been used in a murder? I haven't seen anything. And even if they were, what was the mental state of the person using it? Kind of matters.